Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas football, back here at the Texas High School Coaches Association Convention here in San Antonio, Texas. Here with the head coach of the Wilmer Hutchins Eagles, Coach Elzie Barnett. Coach, appreciate you having a few minutes to chat with us.
I appreciate you.
We go way back. I mean, how many?
10 years.
10 years?
10 years.
Man, I was a young reporter, and you were a young head coach at A. Maceo Smith.
At A. Maceo Smith, trying to pull that thing from the bottom.
You did, and you did a great job at A. Maceo, took those guys to the playoffs. Now you're over at Wilmer Hutchins doing great things with the Eagles. Now you're down here at coaching school. Tell us, when you come down to coaching school, there's so much going on. There's so many events going on. Do you kind of game plan it with your coaches on things you want to knock out, or are you trying to hire coaches, or are there certain lectures you want to go to? What's kind of your game plan when you come down here to San Antonio?
This year was special. We had 2 Hall of Honor inductees. Alan Wilson, of course, I coached against him when I was at Maceo Smith.
Yep.
And he's been a mentor in my life since his retirement. And so I had to be here for that moment. And the other piece was Robert Woods. He won a state championship at Wilmer Hutchins, and both of those guys went into the hall last night. So my game plan was to be here for that. I couldn't miss that. Have an opportunity to post a position because we are looking for a running backs coach, and at the same time see what's new in the game and get my tackling certification. So
there you go, get it all knocked out. And you get to see you get to see a lot of old friends, right? Guys you don't run into very much, and then make some new ones, right?
Absolutely. The thing that's great about this convention more than anything, the fellowship. You can't minimize the opportunity that a coach like myself, who coaches in Dallas, that may not get a chance to sit down with a coach from Silsbee or a coach from Cibolo Steel. So this is an opportunity for me to ask questions to those guys and bridge that relationship, because you never know. You may need a game down the road. You may want to get into a 7-on-7 competition. So it's a lot easier to make those things happen when you know certain people.
You got your pen ready to get the napkin out, write some plays out on the napkin, and
always,
get going?
Always. I never walk around this place without a pen, because you got to be ready to write down a name, a number, or you run into a guy and you draw up a defense. So I keep all that bag full of goodies when I get back to Dallas.
Now let's look ahead to 2018, because the season is right around the corner. You guys be cranking practice up in a couple of weeks. I know you're amped up and ready to go. Last year, 4-6, not the best season. I know you were a little disappointed overall. I know you wanted to kind of get into the playoffs. You got 7 starters back on both sides of the ball. You bring back a veteran squad, a lot of skill talent. I know the biggest thing for you talking in the offseason was trying to develop depth in the trenches. How did the offseason go, and kind of what was some of your impressions of how your kids handled the offseason and summer strength and conditioning?
Good question. We had a really good offseason. Summer workouts went well. We have a good group of young kids on that offensive line and a solid defensive front. I think we're going to be better up front. Our skill guys are going to be tremendous.
Yeah, some of the best in the area, I think.
Yeah, this is one of those teams that if you can get the ball to these guys, they can make things happen. So we're going to play basketball on grass this year. Traditionally, I've been one of those guys that's control the clock, let's minimize the turnovers, not put the kids in situations where they can make mistakes. And with us being a young team last year, I coached like that. I kept everything close to my vest, and what ended up happening in those crucial situations, we didn't make the play, and that cost us the opportunity to make the playoffs. End of the street. That's 6 straight consecutive playoff appearances that we've had at Wilmer Hutchins, and we broke that thing last year. And so I'm still a little sick from that.
Yeah.
But I got to let that go and move on, because I got a great quarterback coming back. This kid threw for over 1,600 yards. I got 4 receivers. All those guys were over 500 yards. My son is anchoring that secondary, falling in the lines of Aaron Barnett. So this is really a good group, and hopefully, we as coaches don't get in the way of the kids and let them have success.
Now, you mentioned your son. That's always a challenge. It's always a unique challenge for a coach when you're having to coach your son, because you got to walk that line, right, where you got to be hard on them, but you can't be too hard on them, because when you come home, you don't want to take that home and have football carry over into the home life. How do you balance that? You got some experience doing it. Did you learn anything from the first couple of go-rounds?
The thing with us, with the Barnetts, the real head coach of the house is always Miss Barnett. and Miss Barnett knows exactly when to turn that on, and she knows exactly when to tell me to turn it off. The deal with Elzie wants to be just as good as Aaron was. And, Aaron was an elite corner. He was a national recruit.
He was.
To fall in those lines, you have to do the little things. And Aaron did all the little things. And I'm hoping, Bubba steps up and makes those plays and be that team leader that Aaron was for Euless Trinity. He can be that team leader for Wilmer Hutchins. As the father, you kind of keep that personal relationship out of the business relationship of football, and it's really hard.
Yeah.
Because when your son does well, you want to cheer more, but you got to keep that inside. And when he's not doing so well, you want to. So I've learned a lot. You know, Aaron was a great teacher for me. Chris was a better teacher for me because with Chris, there were so many different things that we had to address. And now with Elzie, it's almost as if you turn the car on and let him run.
There you go. Okay. Now looking at your district, realignment, you got a few changes. I know you're obviously Dallas Carter returns. They had a great year. Coach Williams did a great job there at Carter last year. You got Hillcrest coming down from Class 5A. New head coach should be competitive. Ranchview's always tough, and you add Alvarado in, a traditional program as well. I mean, you guys are in a pretty good district. What did you talk to your kids about when realignment came about trying to step it up to the next level? Because to try to be at that next level, you got to do more than just beat the Dallas ISD teams, right?
Absolutely. And, for us, it's always been different. My youngest boy, he's a freshman. He's an incoming freshman. He did a stat for me last week. After we finished lifting weights, that I've had 73 games since I've been at Wilmer Hutchins. 47 of those games have been against non-DISD schools. And for us, we had to play Argyle non-district before they were in our district. We played Kennedale non-district. We've always played really good teams, the Frisco Wakelands, the Denton High.
Yeah.
This district is interesting because we don't have heritage. Midlothian Heritage was the clear-cut favorite in that district the past 2 years. Without them, it's going to boil down to who doesn't make the mistakes and whose team is the most prepared. Alvarado, Jeff does a great job at Alvarado, and Pat has really brought Carter back.
Yes, he has.
They aren't the 88 Carter Cowboys, but they are really good. They got 5-star, 4-star defensive linemen, great linebacker play, D1 commit at safety, and elite young running back. So that football team is really good. We've been fortunate. We've had them 4 years now. We're 3-1 with them in this series, and hopefully we can get back on top of them. And that will be the game for us. Not to overlook or underestimate any other opponent. But in Dallas, our kids want to be the king of Dallas. And the way our schedule is set up with Lincoln non-district and Spruce and South Oak Cliff non-district, if we can win 2 to 3 of those games and then turn around and beat Carter, our kids can walk and say that they are the kings of Dallas from 5A and under.
And that gives you some momentum heading into hopefully a playoff run, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Coach. Now we're going to put you on the spot here, okay? All right, this is the Dick's Sporting Goods Wheel of Questions.
Okay.
I'm going to have you spin the wheel.
Okay.
And then whatever question it lands on, you got to answer it.
Okay.
So give it a good spin, and let's get it going. All right, here we go. If me and Greg Tepper and Max and Ishmael are coming to your house for dinner, what's the go-to meal in the Barnett house? What are you guys cooking for us?
I'm telling you right now what's going to happen. I'm going to fire up the grill.
Okay.
And I'm going to take my 2 big pots. I'm going to drop you some crab legs in there, some water, and a specific crab boil with some vinegar and some olive oil. Put that olive oil in there so your crab meat doesn't stick to your crab shells.
Getting hungry.
On the flip side, we're going to have that. We're going to have those Italian sausages going, and Mom's going to do some fries and some homemade butter sauce. Man, we're going to lay the trash bags down, put it on the table, dump it on the table. We're going to war.
Man, Max, we're going to Coach Barnett's house after coaching school. Coach, appreciate your time.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks for what you do for student athletes in the state of Texas.
Absolutely. Thank you for what you do for us, Matt.